So my theory is that Sam Seder broke Steven Crowder like a Kit Kat bar. In one of the most glorious moments I have seen on the internet, Steven Crowder, after literally ducking Sam Seder for years, was caught on his stream trying to pick on H3, whatever, Ethan from H3. I think it's Ethan Klein, who is not an avid debater. He was trying to pick on that guy, who was just a famous streamer. And what he got was a surprise guest appearance by, oh no, Sam Seder. And of course, Steven, being a coward, fled his own show. And it was the internet laughed, I think, for about a month straight. The reaction videos to it are almost at this point a genre unto themselves. In fact, good Lord, I'm a YouTube guy. Why haven't I done one? I'm going to go make up for lost time. But there have been further developments in the Crowder saga since then. He had a big falling out with Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and that whole crowd over at whatever brown shirt channel they've got. And now he's gotten divorced from his wife. Now, it turns out he got divorced from his wife back in 2021. And we're just apparently, or rather it started then, and we're just finding out about it now. What happened in 2021? Remember, one of the ways Steven Crowder ducked out of a debate with Sam Seder was by pretending his wife was ill. Or rather, maybe it was blaming the illness of his wife. I'm not exactly sure of the details anymore. It's been a while, and other than being funny, it wasn't a major event in my life. It didn't, for example, cause a divorce. But that might have caused some stress on the marriage. And here's Sam Seder and the Majority Report crew from a couple months back discussing, I'm trying to be cool here, discussing the increased beef between Crowder and Candace Owens, and weighing in with their own thoughts. I thought we'd comment as well, given the new information that's come to light that Steven Crowder is in fact getting divorced.
So many different things here.
What do you want to do next? Candace Owens?
Yes.
Yes, me too.
This is great. So look, I mean, we can sit here and speculate all day, as we have, many times. Like, what is the mental problem that Steven Crowder has?
Or just like making observations like he really doesn't like trans people, but he's dressed in and says drag shows or grooming situations, but he's dressed in drag like quite a few times for his program.
Yeah, I mean, there's weird stuff that goes on with it. We don't know. And the other thing that we've noticed about Steven Crowder is that how like bizarrely terrified he was about even like the idea that somehow I would confront him. With that whole Ethan Klein, when he brought me on for his show, the first time that Crowder canceled, Ethan, who is far more adept at this stuff and I think understands the psychology of someone like Crowder far better than I, said he's afraid that we're bringing you on. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. How could that can't possibly be true. And then of course, when we actually did pretend that we were live and Crowder did actually show up at the debate, he admitted, because he was so flustered, that he was in fact monitoring our show to make sure that we didn't show up in the debate. I mean, which, if that was the case, kudos to him for having that set. But like, wouldn't you be like, you tried to ambush me. Guess what I did for the past week?
I prepared for it.
I prepared for it, and I'm ready for you, you idiot. And so now I'm going to take both of you and make fools out of both of you.
I mean, if you were an intellectual on the internet, that's what you'd do. If you weren't a fraud, that's what you would do. You'd prepare for a debate. It wouldn't matter, as a matter of fact, who showed up to the debate. Like, for example, Ethan was there at the debate, playing it on his show with his whole audience, right? Well, the appearance of Sam Seder doesn't take away Ethan's audience. So if you are Steven Crowder and you are who you said you were, if you were somebody that had a real understanding of these things, the thing to do would be to whip Sam Seder in front of 2 additional audiences, Sam Seder's and Ethan's. Ooh, boy, wouldn't that be something? Instead, he fled like a coward. I just want to make it crystal clear. What Sam is referring to is the fact that Ethan apparently was on the lookout for this and was actively monitoring the majority report for when Sam was there and not there. And he refused to go on until it appeared that Sam Seder was live on his show. But we found out, no, that was a recording that they snuck in. Because Ethan correctly guessed that Crowder was monitoring this whole thing. What a coward. Oh, this is great. But Sam brings up what happened immediately following Steven Crowder panicking and fleeing off his stream. So let's have a look at that.
But he was too afraid. He starts he could see his
He was
chest,
hoping it would never happen.
his chest contracts. I mean, and then he ends up in the hospital for chest surgery.
I hope his lungs are okay.
Yeah, but
God damn. God. Oh. I mean, if you debate somebody like Raphael Warnock, he'll take you to church. You debate Sam Seder, you're going to meet God. Good Lord. Oh. Sam will put you in the ground. You don't play with Sam Seder. Don't get that man's ire. Don't pretend like you know something. And make Sam Seder a part of the conversation, because that is the only person I'm aware of that whipped someone so hard in a debate that he put him in the hospital. That's genuinely impressive. Love some Sam Seder. And by the way, Emma Vigeland, I think this was just at that tail end of the time where the scamps from the Majority Report were still introducing her to scampery. I feel like a couple months later, even though she's been on the show for a long time now, but I feel like these days she's more natural around the scampery. But it's kind of adorable to watch her start to giggle along with the gang during this one.
So Crowder did this whole thing. We broke down the 2 most important elements of it. One, that it exposes how much money is sloshing around the right wing. And 2, how Crowder inadvertently admitted that his entire perspective on conservative economics is just a lie. He doesn't really even believe it. And he really sees the reality that contracts and employment relationships can be coercive, without a doubt. He knows this. That's the more important stuff. But it's not necessarily the best stuff. And the best stuff could be coming. Because on the Daily Wire, it's clear that Jeremy Boring and, equally as boring, Ben Shapiro, did not want to get too dirty in the muck with Shapiro, because they have to do the business stuff and they've got to make deals with other people. And Crowder looked pretty bad. Like, I don't know if I would ever do business with Steven Crowder. I mean, I will, because he can record me and I'll record him whenever we talk. But if I was like an executive worried about this stuff, I don't think I would ever speak frankly to Crowder ever again. I would be worried about getting on the phone with him, recording like that.
If you're an internet lefty, Sam Seder is the person to model yourself after. It's that simple. Never, ever turn down an opportunity to clash with these right-wing psychopaths. Just don't. Their ideology is too poisonous. Every opportunity we have to refute them and show what clowns they are, we should take. And look, let me be merciful here. I mean, this guy's a blinker. There we go. And, you know, I could keep going with this, but the point is then Candace Owens goes on to imply that Steven Crowder is maybe not living in a Christian manner. This guy that cross-dresses frequently on his show and is a Republican, so is therefore very likely to be lying about their personal life. You get it. I don't really care about that. I mostly just wanted to make fun of the fact that, in my belief, Sam Seder put Steven Crowder in the hospital by debating him. Truly a champion of our era. Why has Steven Crowder gotten divorced? I don't actually know or care. But it couldn't have helped that Sam Seder whipped him so hard that he had to go to the hospital, that he looked like a fool in front of his father and his wife and the whole world. Couldn't have helped that Steven Crowder, in a desperate attempt to avoid Sam Seder, used his wife like a human shield. I'm sure it couldn't have helped that there were rumors out there that this guy, who was avidly bigoted against homosexuals, may have engaged in such activity himself. Couldn't have helped. But whatever it is, I just want to say, and look, politics is one thing, but I just want to say, personally, divorce is a hard thing. It is. And I'm glad Steven Crowder's going through it. Because fuck him, that's why. Send Mrs. Crowder some flowers. I hear she's single now.